Hello. Uh, this is the third and hopefully the last lecture video for this topic, obligations of the partners among themselves. So meron tayong part 1, part 2, and this is part 3 of that series. So ang simula ng lecture video na to will be Article 1800. So yung mula dito at saka yung mga kasunod niya na paragraphs and articles ay patungkol sa management ng partnership, na isang partnership. So yung first situation ay contemplated, yung first contemplated situation ay saad sa Article 1800. Sabi ng Civil Code natin, the partner who has been appointed as manager in the Articles of Partnership may execute all acts of administration despite the opposition of his partners, unless he should act in bad faith. And his power is irrevocable without just and lawful cause. The vote of the partners representing the controlling interest shall be necessary for such revocation of power. The power granted after the partnership has been constituted may be revoked at any time. So may dalawa siyang paragraph. Doon tayo sa una. So dito, sa unang paragraph, or itong unang situation natin ay isang sitwasyon kung saan yung yung mga partners ay merong inappoint na managing partner. So I don't know kung meron bang existing partnership ngayon na walang managing partner, pero meron tayong portion sa civil code kung saan yung partnership ay walang managing partner. So dito sa 1800, yung partnership ay merong managing partner. At dalawa yung situation na kinocontemplate. Kailan siya inappoint? Kailan siya dinesignate bilang managing partner? So for the first paragraph of Article 1800, yung managing partner natin ay inappoint at that time they entered into the contract of partnership. Meaning at the time that they are drafting or planning, no, nung sila ay nag-negotiate pa lang, nag-uusap pa lang sila, they are coming up with the articles of partnership or the articles of co-partnership. Meron silang provision doon indicating kung sino ang mag-serve or i-designate nila as managing partner. So ibig sabihin, pag binasa mo yung kanilang articles of co-partnership, merong meron dong paragraph or meron dong item saying kung sino o who among the partners na nag-sign ng articles of co-partnership na yan ang mag-a-act as managing partner. Saying appointment niya is in the contract itself. So doon mismo sa kontrata nila, so ibig sabihin yung appointment niya as a managing partner forms an integral part of the contract. So parang part siya ng buhay ng kontrata nila, part siya ng agreement. Compared do sa second paragraph na walang naka-designate sa articles of co-partnership na tao or identified na partner na mag-act as managing partner. Pero thereafter, na ibig sabihin, after na nila na ma-execute yung articles of co-partnership, saka lang sila nag-designate ng managing partner. So yung designation ng managing partner is not part of the contract itself. Yung designation niya as a managing partner is outside the contract of partnership, outside the meeting of the minds. Kumbaga, lang siya, no? Parang after na lang siya nilagay. So yung kanyang designation as a managing partner or appointment as a managing partner is not an integral part of the articles of co-partnership or the articles of partnership. So titignan ninyo kung kailan ba inappoint yung managing partner o saan niya kinukuha or hinuhugot yung authority niya bilang isang managing partner. Pwede niyang sabihin na ako ay inappoint as managing partner based on the articles of co-partnership. That's the first possibility. Or pwede niyang sabihin na I am the managing partner, but my authority is not based on the articles of co-partnership, but in a subsequent appointment. Sa after na siya, hindi mo siya makikita sa articles of co-partnership, kundi in the separate designation or the separate appointment. Okay. So magkaiba yun. Anyway, yung distinction kung dun sa dalawa, saka na natin i-discuss. Una, ano ngayon ang mangyayari kung merong in-appoint na managing partner? Ano yung kakayahan niya? Ang managing partner, whether siya ay i-designate or in-appoint in the Articles of Incorporation or not in the Articles of Incorporation, meron siyang kakayahan to execute all acts of administration. Pag sinabing all acts of administration, yung simple management of the business. And and all and always excluded, no, from acts of administration yung tinatawag na acts of ownership, or sometimes referred to as acts of dominion. Yan yung opposite eh. So, ang acts of ownership or acts of dominion ay exact opposite ng acts of administration. Pag administration, for example, paupahan natin tong property na to. We have this property located in Quezon City. Paupahan natin siya para mag-operate yung isang uh, restaurant or isang opisina doon. That is a simple act of administration. Kasi the partnership will not be dispossessed of ownership over that property. Hindi siya mawawala ng ownership kasi papaupahan mo lang naman eh. So kayang desisyonan niya ng managing partner. O kung kaya naman, let's enter into the contract for the supply of for the procurement of the office supplies. So, ibig sabihin yung mga kailanganin nila ng mga office supplies for their day-to-day operations. Ipa-procure natin from this X establishment or X supplier. That is a simple act of administration kasi bumibili lang naman siya. Pero once na meron ng involvement na yung decision ay patungkol na sa pag-dispose ng property, no? Ano na yan, act of ownership na yan, act of dominion na. Hindi na pwede na si managing partner lang ang mag-decide. So for example, you have this property located in Quezon City. Hindi pwede na, magde-decide ako na ito, ibenta ko na to sa SM Development Corporation. Total, malaki naman yung profits kapag binenta ko to sa SM Development Corporation. Even if the intention is good, no? Even if the result will be favorable dun sa partnership, the managing partner is not allowed to decide on that matter because it is not a simple act of administration. It is already an act of ownership or dominion where the properties of the partnership will be disposed of. In the same way that the appointed managing partner cannot enter into a contract of enter into a deed of donation involving the property of the partnership. Again, because donation is an act of ownership or an act of dominion. Kapag nag-decide yung appointed managing partner na i-donate yung properties ng partnership, syempre mawawalan yung partnership. Ay hindi pwede yun. Because that is already beyond the authority or the power of the managing partner. The managing partner can only execute acts of administration. And in fact, yung authority niya to enter into acts of administration or perform acts of administration is valid despite the opposition of his partners. Imagine kahit 10 sila. Let's say 5. Kunyari si A, B, C, D, and E. Si E yung appointed as managing partner, MP siya. So if E will execute an act of administration, yun yung susundin. Kahit na si A, si B, C, and D will oppose. Kunyari, ay wag mong paupahan yan. Hindi mo pwedeng kontrahin si E. Kasi si E nga yung managing partner eh. Ba't nyo siya in-appoint as managing partner kung after nyo siyang i-appoint as managing partner, kukontrahin nyo lang siya ng kukontrahin. Diba? The fact na dinelegate nyo siya, in-appoint nyo siya as the managing partner, either in the articles of partnership or subsequent to the articles of co-partnership, then you have to trust na yung kanyang i-discharge niya yung function niya as managing partner nang naaayon sa kagustuhan ng lahat. So hindi pwede na, actually pwede silang mag-oppose, pwedeng kumontra si A, si B, si and D, pero masusunod pa rin si E dahil siya nga yung managing partner appointed in the Articles of Partnership o kaya after. Pero meron, hindi naman absolute yun kasi baka naman despotic na, whimsical na yung pag-exercise ni E ng kanyang power. If the other partners will be able to prove, no, they have uh, uh, suspicion, not really suspicion, they know, no, that the the way that the managing partner is performing yung kanyang authority, no, kahit yan ay simple act of administration, if they see that the managing partner is in bad faith in the performance of his function, pwede nila yang kontrahin. Pwede nilang i-oppose. So for example, they have this property, no? They have this property located in a prime located in a prime location, which is in a prime location, which is considered as a prime location. For example, along EDSA, yung property na yan. And kung yan ay papaupahan mo, dahil along EDSA yan, along a national highway, EDSA yan, napaka taas ng traffic ng ano dyan, ng fair market value ng mga properties dyan. Sabi, ito, supposedly ang industry rent ay 300,000 per month. Ang ginawa ni E as a managing partner, pinaupahan lang niya for 10,000 a month. 10,000 a month. Yun pala, kaya niya ginagawa yun dahil yung uupa ay close friend niya, quote-unquote close friend niya. So he's acting in bad faith. So even if that is a simple act of administration, which is well within the authority of the managing partner appointed in the Articles of Partnership or thereafter, supposedly, hindi mo pwedeng kontrahin yan kahit apat pa kayo. Dahil act of administration yung ginawa niya. But we all know na yung ginawa niya na i-allow yung property na i-rent out at 10,000 per month or supposedly 300,000 per month yung fair market value kapag papaupahan mo siya. Ginawa niya yun to give unwarranted benefit doon sa kung sino man yung quote-unquote friend niya na pinapaupahan niya. Okay? So if the managing partner is already acting in bad faith, even if he is performing an act of administration, the other partners can oppose, no? Can contradict, no, the decision, no, of the cancel out the decision of the managing partner, question the decision of the managing partner. Okay. If wala naman yan, hindi naman present yung mga bad faith na yan, nakalagay dito sa ating Article 1800 na yung power daw nung managing partner who is appointed. Dito na nag-a-arise yung distinction. The power of the managing partner who is appointed in the Articles of Partnership or in the Contract of Partnership is irrevocable. When say irrevocable, hindi mo siya pwedeng bawiin. Hindi mo pwedeng kunin or tanggalin sa kanya yung delegation or designation niya as managing partner without just or lawful cause. So, general rule, the authority of the managing partner to act as such managing partner cannot be revoked if his designation or appointment is made in the Articles of Partnership itself. However, if the managing partner is acting unjust or unlawful, meron siyang mga ginagawang illegal, that's unlawful, or meron siyang ginagawa which is detrimental to the interest of the partnership, which is unjust and unlawful na yung mga ginagawa niya, then pwedeng i-revoke no other partners yung authority niya or appointment niya bilang isang managing partner. Nakalagay dito, the vote of the partners representing the controlling interest shall be necessary for the revocation of such power. So titignan mo, hindi siya number of partners. Titignan mo kung ilan yung kanilang interest. So for example, A, B, C, D, and E sila. Ito 30% interest. Ito 20. Ito 15. Ilan na to? 30, 50, 15, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 20 ulit. Yan. Tama ba? 30, 20, 30, 20, 50, 100. Okay. Si E, gustong patanggal. Si E ay appointed in the articles of partnership. May isang importanteng um, matter. E is appointed as managing partner and his appointment is made in the articles of partnership. Okay. If E is acting with if there is just or lawful cause na lang. If there is just or lawful cause to revoke the authority of E, then such revocation must be decided upon by the other partners. Okay. Of course, you cannot include the vote of E because obviously E will just say, hindi, I will refuse the uh, tawag dito, the uh, revocation. Di siya papayag na ma-revoke yung power niya. So, titingin ka ngayon dito. If A and B will decide na they will agree dun sa revocation ni E, then anong mangyayari? Is it sufficient na si A and B will revoke the power of E as managing partner, supposing that E's appointment as managing partner is in the articles of partnership? Okay. So, lumalabas kasi na kung si A at si B ay boboto against E, hindi sapat yung kanilang yung kanilang interest. Kasi you can assume or you can conclude na hindi nila nakuha yung majority. Kasi kailangan dito controlling interest, meaning majority interest, that should be more than 50%. Ito ano lang siya, tawag dito, saktong 50% lang siya. So A and B should be able to get the affirmative vote of C or D. Obviously, they cannot get the vote of E kasi nga yung act nga ni E yung kino-question. And E will obviously vote for himself. Alam nga namang siya yung ipinapatanggal, tapos papayag pa siya na tanggalin siya. That's medyo not logical. Although it might be possible, no? It might be possible, but ideally, E will have to vote for himself. So itong si A and B must be able to convince C or not necessarily both of them, convince D to vote the same way that they voted, which is for the revocation of the appointment of E as managing partner. Again, they are only doing this if and only if, number one, E is appointed as managing partner. Itong mga magugulong bagay na yan, in the articles of co-partnership. If E's appointment is not in the articles of partnership, ibang rule ang mag-a-apply. E's power as managing partner is being revoked because there is just and lawful cause for the revocation. And still not enough for E's removal as a managing partner, kasi nga sa articles of incorporation siya in-appoint, kailangan ng vote of the partners representing controlling interest. And when we say controlling interest, that is more than 50%. 50% alone is not sufficient to exercise this power of revocation. Okay? Ano pinagkaiba ng 1800 paragraph 1 sa pangalawang paragraph na mas maikli? The power granted after the partnership has been constituted may be revoked at any time. So yung mga ano kanina, no, without just or lawful cause na yan, yung vote ganun pa rin. Pero ito hindi mo na siya hanapin. Kasi wala na, hindi nag-a-apply itong and his power is irrevocable. Nagiging irrevocable ang power ng isang managing partner if yung kanyang appointment ay nilagay sa Articles of Co-Partnership. If wala sa Articles of Co-Partnership yung kanyang authority or designation as managing partner, hindi required yung and his power is irrevocable or hindi present yung his power is irrevocable. So, pwede siyang i-revoke at any time if the appointment, again, of the managing partner is not made in the Articles of Co-Partnership at the time they entered into the contract. Okay? 1800. 1801, another situation contemplated, no, with respect to managing partners. Sa 1801, two or more persons have been entrusted with the management of the partnership without specification of their respective duties or without a stipulation that one of them shall not act without the consent of all the others. Each one may separate to execute all acts of administration. But if any of them should oppose the acts of the others, the decision of the majority shall prevail. In case of a tie, the matter shall be decided by the partners owning the controlling interest. So wala siyang continuation. Dito, sa Article 1800, hindi lang isa ang managing partner. Marami sila. Maraming in-appoint. So for example, A, B, C, D, and E. Si A, si B, at saka si E, they have been appointed as managing partners. For 1801 to apply, dapat without specification of their respective duties. Ibig sabihin, hindi identified kung ano yung gagawin nila. Hindi sinabi na si A o si A sa operations, si B sa financials. Siya yung mag-manage ng financials. Si E yung mag-manage ng, let's say, human resources. Walang ganun. Walang specification as to their respective duties. Basta sinabi lang that A, B, and E are appointed as managing partners. Medyo magulo yung ganyang situation. Usually, ang mga partnership, kapag nag-a-appoint sila ng managing partner, isa lang. Para wala nang masyadong gulo. Kasi 1801, although magulo talaga kasi binigyan mo ng maraming authority, marami kang binigyan ng authority. Kaya pag nagkagulo-gulo sila, medyo kailangan mong tignan kung paano siya i-resolve based on Article 1801. Okay. Kapag merong specification, kunyari si A nakalagay, A will handle operations, B will handle financials, E will handle human resources, nakalagay. So, ibig sabihin, they have their respective departments to manage. Quote-unquote department, no, na i-manage nila or aspect of the business. Dito yung kanilang authority. So parang as if 1:1 siya. Walang problema. Kasi if A will make decisions, ang pwede lang niyang gawin na decision is yung within the authority. Kasi alam mo yung authority niya. A will have to decide on matters pertaining to operations, while B will decide on matters pertaining to finances, and E will decide on matters pertaining to human capital. Hindi sila pwedeng mag-encroach. Hindi pwedeng si B mangingialam din sa ginagawa ni E, si E mangingialam sa ginagawa ni E. Ginawa nyo na nga, ginuhitan nyo na nga yung buhangin. O A, hanggang dito ka lang ha, ito yung gagawin mo. B, ito sa'yo, E, ito sa'yo. So, walang problema doon kasi nga, identified kung hanggang saan yung authority nila. Yung 1801, kaya magulo yung situation kasi walang binanggit kung ano, A, B, and E, mga managing partners kayo. Hindi in-specify without specifying their respective duties. At ang 1801 ay nag-a-apply din if there is no stipulation that one of them shall not act without the consent of the others. Ibig sabihin, wala daw silang pinag-usapan na hindi maaaring mag-decide without the consent of the others. Ibig sabihin, pwede silang mag-decide ng kanya-kanya. Because there's no stipulation that one of them shall not act without the consent of the others. Okay. So kapag ganyan, dahil hindi in-identify yung kanilang yung kung ano yung extent ng kanilang authority, at hindi rin sinabi na kailangan niya mag-decide as one, each one of them, A, B, and E, may separately execute acts of administration. Ganun pa rin. Ang kanilang pwedeng gawin ay acts of administration lang, bawal yung acts of ownership and acts of dominion. But, if any one of them should oppose the acts of the other, ito na, pag meron ng kontrahan, the decision of the majority shall prevail. Majority. So, for example, A owns 10% interest. B, 5. E is 20. So, ilan na yan? 35, 15, 20, 40, 50. 50% si D. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So, 40 lang pala to. Tama, 20, 30, 40, 50. 20, 30, 40, 50 pala. 20, 30, 40, 50. Yan, 50. Sino yung mga managing partners natin? Si A, B, and E. Okay. Si E ay may in-execute ng act of administration. Kumontra si B. Sabi ni B, E, wag mong gawin yan. Mali ang decision mo na yan. Okay. So, anong gagawin? The matter will be decided upon the majority, the decision of the majority, of the managing partners. Ha? Hindi si C tsaka si D, of the managing partners. Ngayon si B, sabi niya kay A, kailangan din mag-decide dito. Kapag nagkampe si A at saka si B, magpe-prevail yung decision nila. Tama ba yun? Oo, tama yun. Ba't mo sasabihin, ba't naman magpe-prevail yung decision ni A tsaka ni B? Kahit pagsamahin ko yung kanilang interest, 10 tsaka pa 5%, mas malaki pa rin yung interest ni E, 20%. Kapag dyan pa lang yung level, no? Kapag dyan pa lang yung level, ang sabi dito, majority. Hindi majority interest. Majority of the managing partner. So, ibig sabihin, regardless of the interest that they own. So, kahit na, mas mataas pa rin yung interest ni E na 20 over the joint interest of A and B na 15 lang, if A and B will decide the other way, or opposite to the decision of E, the decision of A and B will prevail. Kasi sila yung majority among the managing partners. Okay, let's say for example, itong si B ay 10% din, si D ay 45. Nilipat natin yung 5%. Okay. Nagkampihan si A tsaka si B, hindi pala magkakaroon ng tie kapag ganyan. Ang mangyayari ay may isa pang managing partner. Si C, managing partner din. Si E ay may ginawang decision. Kumontra si B. Kumontra si B. So magsasama-sama ngayon yung apat na managing partners and they will have to decide based on the majority per head. Let's say A and B ay nag-decide together, C and E ay nag-decide together. So anong mangyayari? Split yan. There's a tie. Again, di mo pwedeng pagtotal-totalin yan. Per head ang count. Diyan sa situation na yan. Since there is a tie, the matter shall be decided by the partners owning the controlling interest. Saka ngayon, papasok yung konsepto ng controlling interest. And that will include now D, even if D is not a managing partner. Makasama na siya ngayon sa magde-decide kung anong gagawin dyan sa bagay na yun. So, paano sila ngayon magde-decide? Kapag dumating na sa ganyang punto, kailangan mo nang sukatin. So, ang mangyayari dito, mukha naman magkakampi na si C tsaka si E. Diba? Ang total ng kanilang interest ay 35. Si B tsaka si E ay magkakampi 20. So, ibig sabihin, D will now be the deciding vote. Kasi kahit anong maging decision ni B, pag dinagdag mo yung 45 niya dun sa 20% ni A and B, or dinagdag mo yung 45% dun sa 35% ni C and E, yun yung decision na magwawagi. So, either way, yun yung point. No? Kung ano yung controlling interest, which is now in the hands of D kung saan siya papanig. Okay, yun yung mananalo na decision. Okay? So, sana naintindihan natin yung application ng Article 1801. 1802. In case it should have been stipulated that none of the managing partners shall act without the consent of the others, the concurrence of all shall be necessary for the validity of the acts, and in the absence or disability of any one of them cannot be alleged. Ulit. The concurrence of all shall be necessary for the validity of the acts, and the absence or disability of any one of them cannot be alleged unless there is imminent danger or grave or irreparable injury to the partnership. Okay. So dito, for example, kanina, A, B, C, D, and E, yan. And then A, B, and E were all appointed as managing partners. But this time, merong stipulation na hindi pwede mag-decide yung isang managing partner ng siya lang. Kailangan niyang kunin yung consent ng ibang partners. So A cannot decide on his own, B cannot decide on his own, E cannot decide on his own. Kailangan nilang mag-decide all together. So kaya nga sabi dito, the concurrence or the approval of all shall be necessary for the validity of the acts. Ibig sabihin, kung merong isang partner na hindi nag-concur or nag-consent, then hindi matutuloy yung, let's say, kontrata na yan. Ganon kahirap yung ginawa na yung problema. Every time na may ko-kontra, hindi na lang matuloy-tuloy. No? Minsan naki-prejudice na yung interest ng partnership. Kaya it's better talaga na i-delegate yung managing partner, yung designation ng managing partner sa isang tao lang. Okay. Binanggit pa nga dito, in the absence or disability of any one of them cannot be alleged. So, hindi nila pwedeng idahilan, yun yung point na dito. Kasi absent si E. Okay, kasi disabled si B. Hindi ganun. Even if they are absent or even if they are disabled, kailangan pa rin kunin yung kanilang consent para magkaroon ng validity yung acts. Again, this is acts of administration. Just imagine yung kahirapan na dinulot ninyo. Imagine E, no, meron siyang sakit, hindi siya makapag-attend ng partnership meeting, hindi niya makuha, hindi niya ma-obtain yung kanyang consent, kahit pag gustuhin ni A and B na mag-decide in that favor, in that direction, without the concurrence of E or the consent of E to that particular act of administration, hindi matutuloy yan. Okay? Or hindi lang makita si E for some reason. Hindi alam kung nasaan. Absent siya. They don't know the whereabouts of E. A and B cannot proceed with any act of administration. That's a general rule. Unless, so we have this exception here, unless there is imminent danger or grave, irreparable injury to the partnership. So even if, kapag si E, again, the general rule, if E is absent or E is disabled, they still have to secure the consent of E or the concurrence of E before they can proceed with the act of administration. But if there is imminent danger or of grave or irreparable injury to the partnership, like if A and B will not decide on the matter, it will cause the end of the partnership, then they are justified. No? Inaalaw ng Article 1802, sige mag-decide na kayo even if hindi niyo makuha yung decision or consent ni E. Okay lang yan because that, ano to nakasalalay sa desisyon na ito yung buhay ng partnership. If hihintayin pa natin si E na mag-concur, mag-reappear siya kasi absent siya o kaya maging okay yung situation niya kasi disabled siya in the meantime, then baka wala na siyang abutan, no? Natapos na yung buhay ng partnership. So, justified yan. Mag-decide na kayo A and B. Okay lang yan. Even if wala si E. Again, that is only allowed if there's imminent danger of grave or irreparable injury to the partnership. Meron pa palang kasunod ay 1803. Okay. Bakit number 2 agad? Wait lang. Okay. So for Article 1803, ito naman yung situation na kinocontemplate kung saan the manner of management has not been agreed upon. Ibig sabihin na gumawa sila ng partnership, they did not appoint in the articles of co-partnership kung sino yung mag-a-act as managing partner, or even after the formation of the partnership, wala pa rin in-appoint na managing partner. Anong mangyayari? If that is the case, ito mas magulo siya, all the partners shall be considered as agents. Lahat kayo na mga partners ay agents of the partnership. Delikado to. And whatever any one of them may do alone shall bind the partnership. Imagine, pinapabayaan mo siya, mag-isa lang siya. He can decide on behalf of the partnership. Even without the knowledge of the other partners, it will bind the partnership. That's very dangerous, not only for the partnership but also with respect to the other partners. So kapag ganyan yung situation, you have to be on the lookout. No? Baka may iba na palang ginagawa yung partnership, ay yung isang partner, which may be prejudicial not only to the interest of the partnership but also to you as a partner. So this is not an ideal situation where you create a partnership but you did not stipulate with regard to the manner of the management of the partnership. Make sure if you are intending to enter into a contract of partnership, make sure that among the important provisions of the articles of co-partnership, you include the appointment of one of the partners as managing partner. Siyempre, pinagkakatiwalaan ninyo yung dapat mag-act as managing partner, yung hindi niya papabayaan yung affairs ng management ng partnership. Okay, ito naman yung wag na wag niyong gagawin. Mas okay pa nga yung maraming in-appoint na managing partner. With 1803, walang in-appoint kahit sino. So lahat kayo, all the partners, shall be considered as agent, and nakalagay whatever, any of them may do alone shall bind the partnership. Damay yung partnership and indirectly damay ka bilang isang partner. Without prejudice to the provision of 1801. Ano itong 1801? Yung paano ba mag-oppose, no? Paano mag-oppose ng vote. No? So gagawin ninyo yung kapag ganyan and you think kailangang i-oppose yan, ano yung unang step, ay ano yung unang level, paano i-oppose yung decision, majority. Since lahat kayo ay agent, lahat kayo mag-decide. If there is a tie, controlling interest. Yan. If there is a tie, controlling interest. So, again, para maintindihan natin, A, B, C, D, E, and F. They created a partnership without specifying who is the managing partner. Dahil lahat kayo ngayon. So, lahat kayo ngayon pwede mag-act alone and it will bind the partnership, and indirectly, it will bind the other partners. If F will decide and D is not happy, is not agreeable to the decision of F, then ano mangyayari? Since lahat kayo ay supposedly managing partners, lahat kayo magde-decide by count, not by interest. So if D will be able to garner the votes of A, B, and C, and E and F lang magkakampi, then kung ano yung naging decision ni A, B, C, and D will prevail over the decision of E and F, which is originally the decision of F lamang. Nadamay lang niya si E doon. Pero kung yan ay hati, A, B, and C on one side, Ay, hindi pala kasi si D kontra pala si D doon. So, ang nangyari ay A, B, and D on one side, C, E, and F on the other. So, hati yan. Ano siya? Tie. There is a tie. So, anong gagawin? Controlling interest na. Check natin kung sino masusunod. So, titignan mo ngayon kung ilang percent ba yung hinahawakan ni A, B, and D compare dun sa percentage o interest ni C, E, and F. So, ganun di ba yung sa Article 1801? 1803, second paragraph, none of the partners may, without the consent of the others, make any important alteration in immovable property of the partnership, even if it may be useful to the partnership. But if the refusal of consent by the other partners is manifestly prejudicial to the interest of the partnership, the court's intervention may be sought. So, again, the rule is whether managing partner ka, na-appoint ka, or after, or marami kayo, or wala, ang pwede lang ninyong gawin ay acts of administration. And in fact, even if you consider this an act of administration, the partners cannot make important alterations in the immovable property. So dapat lahat kayo mag-agree that they will introduce important alterations in the immovable property of the partnership. So kahit daw ba yan ay useful to the partnership, it does not matter. It is required under Article 1803, paragraph 2, that if there is an important alteration in the immovable property and tawag dito, the manner of the management has not been agreed upon, walang inappoint na managing partner, then all the partners must agree to such alteration. But, nakalagay dito, if the refusal is manifestly prejudicial, ibig sabihin man, para ba nananadya? Sige na, kasi ano yan, kailangan talaga unanimous in decision. So, isa na lang botong kailangan ng aasar pa yung isa. At wala naman siya ma-provide na, decision, na justification for opposing the act. Eh, kailangan na ng partnership. No? Yung alteration na yan. Eh, hindi mo naman, wala naman binabanggit yung isang partner kung bakit niya ino-oppose yung alteration. So if one of the partners' refusal is manifestly prejudicial to the interest of the partnership, then the other partners can go to court and ask for a remedy. And they can pursue a remedy with the court as long as they can prove that the uh, refusal of that particular partner is manifestly prejudicial to the interest of the partnership. So the court will have to decide, will have to hear both parties. O ikaw, ba't ba ganito ang gusto niyong mangyari? Kayong apat. Bakit ba gusto niyo yung alteration na to? Etc. etc. Ano ang ebidensya niyo in support of those? Kabila naman, o ikaw, ba't ba ayaw mong ibigay yung consent mo? May dahilan ka o produce evidence to support those claims. And then based on the evidence presented by both parties, the court will have to decide. Kaya lang, no, ang problema dyan, medyo mabagal yan, medyo matagal yan kasi court intervention yan. Baka by the end, by the end na makapag-decide yung court, eh, wala na siyang maitutuan, wala na siyang value adding service, ay value to be added doon sa partnership. Or worst, patay na yung partnership at that time. Kasi tagal mag-decide. Anyway, sana wag mangyari. That is 1803. 1804, pag-associate. Now, every partner may associate another person with him in his share, but the associate shall not be admitted into the partnership without the consent of all the other partners. Even if the partner having an associate should be a manager. So, pwede kang mag-associate, ang tawag lang sa kanya associate. It's either junior associate siya or senior associate siya. Ganyan. Usually, nangyayari to sa mga professional partnership. No? Nag-associate sila, kunyari sa law firm, merong junior associate, senior associate. Ganun din sa uh, accounting firm, sa auditing firm, sa merong mga tax associate, audit associate, ganyan. Nagiging senior associate din sila eventually. Associate sila. Parang part sila, no? Kasi they are, ano parang they also practice the same profession. Diba? Pero ako partner ako, ikaw associate kita. But you will not become a partner unless, syempre, eventually mapopromote sila kung talaga nagstay sila, loyal sila with the firm. They can be promoted as partners, but that promotion or that admission as partner should be with the consent of all the other partners. Dapat sila magde-decide. Again, going by the principle that a contract of partnership is fiduciary in nature. Fiduciary meaning it is based on utmost trust and confidence. If one of the partners does not have trust or confidence with that associate, then that associate cannot be admitted or admitted as a new partner. So, kailangan lahat magko-consent. Sabi pa nga ng Article 1804, even if the partner who is making the association is a managing partner. So kahit managing partner pa siya, hindi niya pwedeng i-decide on his own kung sino ba yung pwedeng i-admit as additional partner to the partnership. It is a requirement that before an associate will be admitted as a partner to the partnership, all existing partners should consent to such admission. Okay? That is 1804. Okay, ito mga subsequent rights of a partner. Mabilis na lang to. Kung ikaw ay partner, sabi ng Article 1805, the partnership books shall be kept subject to any agreement between the parties at the principal piece of business of the partnership, and every partner shall at any reasonable hour have access and may inspect and copy any of them. Pag sinabing book, so sa accounting, we have this set of accounting book. So we have the journal, the ledger, general journal, general journal, special journal. Although ito manual to manual na books ito. Tinutukoy dito. So sabi dito, this book shall be kept at the principal piece of business. And that principal piece of business will be indicated in the articles of co-partnership. Required yun. Kapag nagka-come up kayo with an article of co-partnership, then you have to indicate there the principal piece of business kasi required yun ng Securities and Exchange Commission. Then, the presumption is, Article 1805, yung books ng partnership will be maintained in that place. To the extent na kapag nirequire ng BIR, gustong makita ng BIR yung books ninyo, dapat pag pumunta siya dun sa principal place of business, makita yung mga books na yan maintained in that place. Okay. Kaya sabi rin ng Article 1805, subject to any agreement between the parties. So, they can stipulate in the articles of co-partnership that the books will be maintained in a place other than the principal place of business. They can do that. Ina-allow siya ng Article 1805. So, sabi nila, even if that principal piece of business of ABC partnership will be in, let's say, Commonwealth Quezon City, 123 Commonwealth Quezon City, the books will be maintained in the accounting office of ganto, of Y, which is located at 234 Mandaluyong, Metro Manila. Ganun, pwede yan. And nakalagay dito, kahit saan mo ilagay yan, whether in the place of business or as otherwise agreed upon by the partners, every partner shall at any reasonable hour have the access and may inspect or even copy them. Siyempre, karapatan ng bawat partner yan. You have to be informed kung ano na bang nangyayari dun sa accounts ng mga partners, ng accounts ng partnership. Ano na ba yung movement ng cash, magkano na ba yung revenue. No? So, siyempre, every partner is interested in knowing those information. And the primary source of that information will be the books of the partnership. So that is why Article 1805 gives them the right to access those books. Pero dapat reasonable hour. Hindi naman yung pakatok-katok doon, madaling araw. Patingin po ng libro. May dala po ako ditong flashlight. Basahin ko siya. Hindi ganun. Reasonable hour. Office hours ng 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. would be reasonable. And you can inspect them and you can copy them. That is your right as a partner in a partnership. 1806, this is an obligation of the partners. Partners shall render on demand true and full information of all things affecting the partnership to any partner or to the legal representative of a deceased partner or of any partner under legal disability. So dito, upon demand. Kapag may nag-demand, ibig sabihin, syempre dapat yung i-demand mo una must be uh, information affecting the partnership. Hindi pwede na personal niya o ano nangyari. Personal ko ito, ba't ako mag-account sa iyo? So, hindi ko siya kailangan gawin. So, pero kapag ang dinedemand na true and full information ay affecting the partnership, dapat ibigay yan ng partner sa kapwa niya partner. Hindi ko lang na alam kung bakit hindi alam ng partner na to. Hindi ko alam kung bakit niya hindi alam. Dapat alam niya rin kasi partner nga siya, tapos hindi niya alam. Anyway, itong mga kasunod, ito yung ideal na situation ng 1806. For example, namatay na yung isang partner. Siyempre, yung naiwan niya, yung heir niya, would be interested. Ano na bang nangyari dun sa partnership kung saan partner kunyari itong ascendant natin bago siya namatay. So, let us ask itong partner na to. Ayun, di ba? Kasi you don't expect naman na yung mga heirs ay may access dun sa ano. Alam nila kung ano nangyari. They don't know. Maaring nakwento ng partner bago siya namatay, pero that's not sufficient. They can ask itong partner, and again, yung information that can be relayed to them would be limited to those affecting the partnership. That's ideal. Mangyayari yan. O kaya naman, if a partner is under legal disability, legal, ibig sabihin, merong nangyari, no, which disabled him from accessing uh, the books or the information, those information pertaining to the affairs of the partnership. Again, this is reasonable kasi he is under illegal disability. So, reasonable lang naman na bigyan mo siya ng true and full information, again, but only upon demand. Kung hindi ka magde-demand, walang mangyayari dyan. Kailangan mo i-demand. Mag-ask ka, sumulat ka for true and full information regarding the affairs of the partnership. Every partner, based on trust and confidence ito. 1807, every partner must account to the partnership for any benefit and hold as trustee for it any profits derived by him without the consent of the other partners from any transaction connected with the formation, conduct, or liquidation of the partnership, or from any use by him of its property. So dito, ang nangyayari, yung isang partner ay merong nakuhang profits. Yung profits na yan ay connected doon sa formation, conduct, or liquidation of the partnership. Nung nagsimula yung partnership hanggang sa matatapos siya, yung isang partner ay merong nakuhang profits. Itong profits na to was derived by him without the consent of the other partners. Hindi alam ng ibang partners na itong isang partner na ito ay may na-derive na profit which actually pertains to the partnership, whether during the formation, the conduct, the operations, or even at the time na nagli-liquidate na yung partnership. Meron siyang nakuhang profit. So bilang isang partner sa isang partnership, knowing or understanding that your relationship with your other partners is fiduciary in nature, you have to understand that you have this duty to account to the partnership that benefit. Pag sinarili mo yan, you are violating the rule on fiduciary relationship. Dahil fiduciary relationship, dapat open. Dapat alam nila. No? Even if it is without their consent, you have to let them know. Sabi mo sa kanila, oh, merong nagbayad sa akin si Mr. X. Sino siya? Siya pala may utang pa dati doon sa partnership. No, nakalimutan na natin lahat. Inabot niya sa akin yung bayad. Yung isang partner na yun has the opportunity to have it a secret. Diba? Lalo pat nalaman niya, nag-write off na pala yung partnership. Ni-write off na pala ng partnership tong receivable na to. Diba? Tapos binayad sa kanya. Pwede niya lang sarili din yun. Pero hindi niya dapat gawin. Kasi 1807, gives him that obligation. Kailangan mong i-disclose dun sa mga partners na meron kang nakuhang benefit. And in fact, sabi dito, you are holding it as a trustee only. Ibig sabihin, hindi kinikilala pa nga ng batas na hindi siya sa'yo. Trustee ka lang. You are only a trustee of that amount. No? You are holding it in trust for the partnership. So you have to report it. No? Yung profits na yun, you have to report it to the partnership. Or to your other partners. And then, sa bandang baba ng article na ito, or from any use by him of his property. Kapag meron kang kinitang profits dahil ginagamit mo or ginamit mo ng gamit, kinita mo yung profits, gamit yung property ng partnership, then you have that obligation to disclose that to your partners. Again, owing to the what do you call this? Fiduciary nature of the relationship among the partners. Okay? So ang point ng 1807, kapag ang isang partner ay merong nakuhang profit at hindi alam ng ibang partner, at yung profits na yan ay patungkol sa operation, sa formation at liquidation ng partnership, or yung patungkol sa mga properties ng partnership, meron siyang obligasyon na i-disclose yan sa mga partners. 1808, a capitalist partner cannot engage in for their own account in any operation which is of the kind of business in which the partnership is engaged unless there is stipulation to the contrary. Continued. Any capitalist partner violating this prohibition shall bring to the common funds any profits accruing to him from his transactions and shall personally bear all the loss. So dito, ano daw ang rule natin kapag capitalist partner naman? We already stated the rule with respect to industrialist partner, industrial partner. Kapag ikaw ay industrial partner, you are prohibited from engaging in other activities, in engaging in other business, whether or not they are in competition of the business of the partnership, bawal. Bawal siya talaga. In 1808, yung capitalist partner, they are not allowed to engage in other business if that business is in direct competition with your partnership business. So, hindi naman absolute yung prohibition. Pwede pa rin. As long as yung ano yan, other business na yan ay different kind of business in which the partnership is engaged. So, kung parehas, bawal. Unless may stipulation, i-allow siya. Dapat hindi ibigay itong stipulation, di ba? Bibigyan niya ng capital or mag-engage in business which will directly compete with our own business, parang malabo naman. Pero tandaan, if the capitalist partner will engage in other business which is not the same kind of business ng partnership, hindi kailangan ng stipulation. Allowed siyang gawin yon. Yung stipulation is required only if the capitalist partner will engage in business which is the same kind of business with that of the partnership. Okay? Compare nyo to sa industrial partner, hindi siya pwedeng mag-engage in other business, especially whether or not it competes with the business of the partnership. Anong effect kapag nag-invest siya or nag-engage siya in business which is in direct competition with the partnership business? Same with the industrial partner. Diba? Yung parusa ay parehas. Kapag may kinita ka dyan, kailangan mong dalhin yan to the partnership and it will form part of the common fund. Pero kung meron kang pagkalugi dyan sa other business mo, ikaw lang yun. Sa'yo lang yan. Ganon din naman doon sa industrial partner. Kung meron kang ano dyan, ay actually, doon sa industrial partner, hindi, ang option ay to ask the industrial partner to bring to the partnership yung benefits and it will form part of the common fund or exclude siya from the partnership. Ito, yung capitalist partner, he bears all the losses. Yung kita, share mo sa amin, pero yung talo o yung pagkalugi, sa'yo lang yun. Ganun yung 1808. Okay. Last article for this topic. Any partner shall have the right to a formal account of the partnership affairs. So, mag-require ka ng formal accounting for the partnership affairs. Una, if you are wrongfully excluded from the partnership business or the possession of his property, ini-exclude ka, wala namang ground for the exclusion. Napapansin mo, hindi ka nalang sinasali doon sa partnership business. Then kapag ganyan, na you are wrongfully excluded, wala namang ground for your exclusion, then you can demand for a formal accounting of the partnership affairs. Para ma-inform ka, partner ka pa rin naman. In-exclude ka nga lang nila from the business. So, para hindi ka clueless, then you can demand for a formal accounting. If the right exists under the terms of any agreement, then kapag nakasulat daw ito sa Articles of Co-Partnership or a separate agreement. Meron kayong nilagay nyo doon sa Articles of Co-Partnership that any partner will have the right to formal account of the partnership affairs, then so be it kasi nag-agree naman kayo. Or kahit wala sa Articles of Co-Partnership, if thereafter gumawa kayo ng separate agreement granting this right, then so be it. Nag-agree kayo so yun yung masusunod. As provided by Article 1807. What is Article 1807? Kapag merong ibang partner na nakakakuha ng benefit which is unknown to the other partners. But itong itong profit na ito, itong benefit na ito ay pertaining to the partnerships. Formation, conduct, liquidation, or property ng partnership ang involved. So, kailangang i-account yan. Wrongfully excluded, ini-exclude ka. Kapag nag-agree kayo, sabi ng Article 1807, and then finally, if other circumstances, which is case-to-case basis, titignan kung just and reasonable ba yan. So, hindi siya always applicable. Tandaan nyo, formal accounting is a long process. Hindi mo siya simple na, snap, okay na yan. Hindi ganun. If every time na lang maghihintay naman ng formal accounting, then mahihirapan naman yung operations ng company. Nagde-demand siya o gawin natin yung gusto. Hindi ganun. Tignan mo kung okay ba under the circumstances for the demand. Aanhin niya ba? Ba't niya kailangan ng formal accounting ng partnership affairs? Okay? So, 4 na situation kung kailan pwede mag-demand ng formal accounting. Una, if you are excluded from the partnership business or the partnership property. Pangalawa, if you have agreed to it, there is a prior agreement among the partners that this right for formal accounting is given. Pangatlo, if there are profits, yung contemplation under 1807, if a partner without the knowledge of the other partners derive profits or benefits pertaining to the partnership's formation, operation, liquidation, and property without the knowledge of the other partners, it must be accounted for. And finally, in just and reasonable circumstances. Okay? So that's the end of the slide, I think. So that's Article 1809, and those are the obligations of the partners among themselves. So after this, we have 2 more. Actually, marami pa. Meron pang property rights of the partners, and meron siyang obligations of the partners in favor of third persons. So, but for this topic, end na to, and also the end of the video. Thank you.